gorgeous night in Hartford, Connecticut, and we welcome you to Community Health Night, presented by Trinity Health of New England. Hartford Athletic trying to find their groove this evening against the side they unseated atop their group in 2020, the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Mike Watts and Ricky Lopez-Espin, glad to have you aboard for this one. Ricky, you and I were talking in the lead up to this match. How does Hartford win this game? It's by coming out on the front foot.
I think they have to be confident in the way that they're going to play. They have a lot of talent on display here for Ray Reid. You're looking at the middle three, McGlynn, Purpa, Barrera, going to be dictating tempo, moving the ball from left to right, shifting the Pittsburgh Riverhound and their defensive unit. Andre Lewis is going to be the spearheading attack, and you have Rashad Dowley on the left, on the right-hand side. So it's going to be really interesting, and they need to be confident in the way that they're playing for Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Weather the storm your way. You're going to be a hostile environment. Your first 15 minutes, play yourself into the game. Don't try to do too much and be confident connecting passes and get the confidence within the team.
Keys to the game are presented by Hoffman Auto Group. Let's talk about this Hartford side within a larger context. They got that huge win against Colorado Springs. It's the only team they've beaten that's currently above the playoff line. That's the case for Pittsburgh here tonight.
And if you're asking Ray Reid, if you're going to beat Colorado Springs, he'll take it, of course. Colorado Springs, the team is not an easy out. But look to grow on that. Obviously, haven't had the best record since that, so look for that. They're at home. Take it to this Pittsburgh Riverhound side, who's above you on the table, and expect them to be confident coming out motivated.
And remember when Pittsburgh was in some serious trouble, 6 winless, and Bob Lilly does what he always does. He gets this team turned the right direction at the right time.
And I'm looking at that bottom, going to New Mexico and coming out with the point. That's not an easy out. Going across country, getting a result, obviously, against Miami FC, 4-1 win as well. The way that this Bob Lilly team that we've seen throughout the years, just clicking on all cylinders, understanding their roles, playing with each other. It's never an easy game playing against the Pittsburgh Riverhound side.
All right, well, the Riverhounds have a couple key additions that have joined them. Could we see Robbie Mertz and Edward Kizza step into the lineup here tonight? For Hartford, it's a group that's just waiting for that big, explosive home victory. Lineups kick off when we return to Connecticut.
You've made changes, smart choices, a commitment. So this can be hard to understand. But at Trinity Health of New England, we do. Throughout our hospitals and physician offices, our dedicated weight management team provides expert guidance and care for a successful, personalized journey to better health. Because we understand it's not about what you hope to lose, but all you can expect to gain. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our partners, Connecticut Army National Guard, Midline Chiropractic, Walgreens, and Connecticut. Gorgeous evening here in Hartford tonight. Trinity Health Stadium playing host on Community Health Night. It's Hartford Athletic welcoming the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Mike and Ricky with you. Let's take you through the starting 11s. First for Ray Reid, the interim head coach. The lineups are brought to you by Liberty Bank, and not a lot of surprise here, just Gadula in for Sadie.
And you see it's a 4-1-4-1 formation. McGlynn is going to be that pivot player, covering a lot of ground, doing both sides of the ball, connecting the attack, covering a lot of places in front of that back line. You're looking at Joel Johnson, a special player for this Hartford Athletic side, and Purper and Bray are going to be those special players in that pocket. Really attack-minded, really talented starting 11 for Ray Reid.
Meanwhile, Bob Lilly, it might be the 5th game for Ray Reid as a pro head coach. It's the 5th year in Pittsburgh for Bob Lilly, and they've made changes with Ibarra, Biasi, and Williams into a 5-back lineup.
And you're going to see Dos Santos and Biasi going to be the workhorses on either side, right hand and left hand, respectively. But I'm looking at that front three, Dequa, Dixon, Forbes, understanding that Forbes is going to play underneath those two to connect those players, get them in dangerous positions. Really talented starting 11 for Bob Lilly's side.
There is Bob Lilly, 5-time Coach of the Year across domestic leagues in the U.S. A look at our referee for this affair. That's Jeremy Shearer. 11th all-time meeting between Pittsburgh and Hartford. A couple years ago, it was the definitive rivalry in the Atlantic Group. Here tonight, chance for Pittsburgh to exude a extensive unbeaten streak and a chance for Hartford to continue the good momentum. We're underway here tonight on a sunny evening in Connecticut. Only one win historically for Hartford against Pittsburgh, and it was decisive in the group back in 2020. To be fair, and listening to Ray Reid this week, Ricky indicated he wasn't really watching the team all that much in 2020.
No, we had a really interesting conversation saying I wasn't really paying attention, but now getting in this new role, really seeing these players on the field, touch tight away, and really been impressed with the quality that it's on display for this side, Hartford Athletic, and the growth and the opportunity, the potential of this organization, how professional they are as well.
Ball knocked back by McGlynn. He said ultimately he was brought in as the technical director to work with Bruce Mandel and oversee the entire soccer operation. He said everything on the business side and the community side has largely been on point, but now they're going to try and find the right head coach to help Ray Reid construct a winner here in the long term in Hartford.
It's a really interesting approach for a player. Not only playing obviously for this season, and go for next season. You know, Ray Reid is going to have a big say in who gets signed in the 2023 season moving forward, and being a project, part of the project in this Hartford Athletic organization.
Odell got fouled. Ricky, you ever play for a caretaker manager?
No, I never, don't have that experience.
He's got a wealth of experience, but not that experience. Chidama. I haven't either, for what it's worth. Joel Johnson running that toward the corner flag. Ball came into Purpa. Lobbed over for Joel Johnson. Allows that out for a corner. Bank of America corner kick for Hartford. Driven ball over Purpa, was aiming at Brewitt. Will go through McGlynn and that magic peg. Budati. As ever, Pittsburgh not struggling to defend the box.
Just so organized. You can see when one player goes up, the other players come underneath him. That support system, such an important thing as a back line. Just tells you how organized and how detail-orientated Bob Lilly is.
It's Brewitt. And now Mo Jadama. You and I were chatting before the game. Pittsburgh is not going to sit back here on the road. And you can see it from the pressure from the center back. And An early foul on the goalkeeper in possession, too.
They're starting with an extremely high line. Dequa, Dixon, Forbes, and you have Ibarra and Griffin underneath them. It's going to be really interesting to see this Riverhound side. As one player steps up, the players underneath have to make the field extremely compact. And if you're Hartford Athletic, don't be scared to put the ball over the top. You have willing runners, Daly, Lewis, Johnson, that have the pace to get in behind and ask questions of this back line of the Riverhounds.
Back through Brewitt. You mentioned Alex Dixon coming back here to Hartford. He was one of precious few bright lights in that expansion season 2019. There's that ball extending Pittsburgh. Johnson lays it off. Barrera wants this in the middle of the field. Perpa. That deflects down to Lewis. Bounces over to Budati. Header snapped away. Picked up by Dequa. With a bit of malaise, Pittsburgh gave it back only to reconfirm their position. Trinity Health of New England, proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic. Always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, care that's always there.
You're Hartford Athletic and you're putting a lot of pressure on the Riverhounds. You have to be extremely careful as you're trying to win this ball back in your attacking third. You're not getting caught out in transition moments and leaving yourself vulnerable. Minutes ago, we saw Brewitt have a really crucial interception. That ball goes through. Dixon, Dequa, Forbes are going back the other way, so to really find balance, especially in the middle of the field for the Hartford Athletic, to know when to step and when to drop in.
There's that ball over the top. Dixon was chasing by his lonesome. That's the funny thing about Pittsburgh. Ray Reid spoke to the unorthodox shape that they play, but even the style they play, they've got a lot more gears than your average championship team, and that makes them incredibly difficult to get a feel for, even within a game.
Well, they can just break you down in so many ways. Talked about the directness, that they can put the ball over the top with the willing runner. You have Dequa as a target man through combination play. Just so many ways that this Riverhound side can hurt you, can ask questions of you. And it's so hard to prepare for a team like this, have so many moving gears, so many rotations, whether it's in the middle of the field, the outside backs, the front line. So high and fluid. And high IQ football from this Riverhound side.
Circulates into the width and comes through Joel Johnson. That's Budati. He's the last player selected in the MLS draft in 2020. Ball launched long run for Johnson. Looked like he caught up to it, but it escapes the line.
Those are spots that you want Barrera to pop up in between lines, making it hard to pick him up. A player that's so special when he gets the ball in the half turn to face forward. Seen throughout his time in the USL Championship, just how good he is, an assist maker, the vision that he is, such a big part of the attacking unit for Hartford Athletic.
Away by Jamali Waite. Dixon brought it down. Floated over the top, nothing there. Through Barrera. Gifted back to the Riverhounds. Dos Santos, King Kenny, Canardo Forbes through Griffin. Griffin, Dixon toward Forbes and Dequa, and engulfed by Odell. Played ahead toward Perpa, toward Dequa now. Only the offside flag got involved there. Please join us in helping founding partner the Hartford celebrate nearly 75 years of educating children about fire safety with their Junior Fire Marshal program. Visit juniorfiremarshal.com to learn more. You haven't had fun until you've seen 500 children become junior fire marshals back on June 25th with the red hats, the whole thing. Dos Santos dangerously grabbed by Odell.
And start to feel Riverhounds starting to grab their footing in this game. Moving the ball from left to right. So much of what they do goes through Danny Griffin in the middle of the field. Is that anchor, covers so much ground defensively, offensively, makes and pulls everything together. Much like Connor McGlynn. On the other hand, you have a player like Forbes, Dequa, Dixon, just such difference makers that can switch this game in a matter of moments.
Dos Santos will step up and take the throw. That was a bit wayward. And through Williams here. Ordonez. Dixon dealt with that well. That may have caught the arm of Forbes. Jadama will circulate back to Odell.
Be extremely careful. Maybe the back line for Ray Reid. That ball connects to Dequa. It's a 2v2 going down the other way with Dixon and Forbes. You don't want that with those players. So you need that for rotation, formation, whatever it may be, the communication as well in the back line for Hartford Athletic to have always a man up. You never want to be even 2v2, 3v3. You always want to have a 3v4 defensively. Gives you that extra security and cover. Something to keep an eye on if you're Hartford Athletic and Ray Reid side.
Budati feels a bit hard done. Player after your own heart, former Creighton Blue Jay.
There you go.
I mentioned he was the last pick in that 2020 draft. To be fair, 7 of the last 8 selections were pass.
Just undercoming of Dos Santos there, knows what he's doing. Player that likes to get up and down the right-hand side. A lot of quality on the attacking third, whipping a good ball. And a really pleasant pickup for Hartford Athletic.
It feels like he ends up much higher up the field than you would anticipate given his starting position in a moment like this. And when you're playing that 5-back, it is sort of a war of attrition and a battle to sort of set the line of which fullbacks, wingbacks are getting higher.
Well, that gives you just an idea of how versatile he is. We saw moments ago in the first half, he was really inverted.
Dos Santos, and that'll hit off Budati.
Just gives you a different look, can combine, can go down the edges, and it really asks questions of Dos Santos. It pins him back, and you have a player like Daly, Lewis on the right-hand side, Budati underneath him. And to pick and choose which player to run, to follow, causes a bit of confusion in the final third. So it's really good when you have outside backs that are able to join in the attack like Budati and Gadula on the other hand for Hartford.
You see Wheat and Williams targets for Canardo, Forbes. Forbes. Odell got a piece. Forbes will have another bite of the apple. Leads it ahead, running out of room. Ibarra with a deflection. Ordonez may have put that on frame, but Odell had it covered.
It's a good little cross, little cutback here. Ordonez is the first to react, trying to squeak that in to the near post of Odell.
That'll be a foul from Ordonez. Pride of Pitt, who was involved on the other end a moment ago.
It's a nice little underlapping run here on this left-hand side. Give credit to Odell, comes out big, comes out strong. This little cutback ball here from Ibarra. Ordonez is the first one to react, beating Jadama there. Give credit to Odell. Sees it the whole way through. It's another opportunity here for Hartford Athletic. Like you said, the magic peg of McGlynn. Put this ball on a rope. Aiming for right around that penalty mark.
McGlynn went short. A little creativity here. Ball toward Jadama. Sent away. Barrera, ultimately the one tasked with putting that toward frame. Gadula. Johnson. Oh, there goes Joel Johnson. Johnson cuts it back, and with a deflection off the shin of Brewitt, hits weight right in the numbers.
And he's been such a bright spot in this first half, Johnson. Asking, can I have this dance to two Pittsburgh Riverhounds players? And it's a bit of an awkward ball here. And they give Purpa, lets that one go. Brewitt is just licking his lips, waiting for it. Just so much quality on this final third for Johnson. See time and time again, when players get in that position, they put their head down, just smash it across. Not Johnson. Saw a little peek, a head peek, trying to pick out a player in blue. Doesn't come to fruition, but good early start, 16 minutes in for Johnson.
And you're right, that was Purpa. If he was wearing smaller shin guards, maybe makes better contact. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuovo Pasta, Connecticut, and Citizens Bank for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, Nuovo Pasta and Citizens Bank donate meals to Food Share Connecticut. How big were your shin guards when you were playing? You got big shins. You're a tall, lanky dude, Ricky.
You're saying I don't have any meat on muscle?
No.
What's happening here? No, I was always a small shin guard type of guy. I was always small, socks pulled up high. No, that was my swagger on the field.
Your swag has actually improved since you left. Ibarra. Swung that over to Dos Santos. Pushed ahead by Williams. Kel Williams serves a nice ball into the final third. Twisting back Mark Ibarra. There's Williams again, who's part of Trinidad and Tobago's Nations League run this year. Ordonez from Pitt welcomes Edward Kizza, former teammate, into the Riverhounds here this week, on loan from New England, available to play off the bench this evening. Griffin. Ibarra. Well done by Lewis and Hartford.
Really good defensive organization from Hartford Athletic. As Riverhounds have a lot of movement in that final third, trying to pull players out of position, cause a bit of confusion. Just see the communication between Brewitt and Jadama, passing players off, not leaving any opening gaps for Pittsburgh to play through. Good defensive positioning.
Jadama calmly for Brewitt. Dixon breathing down his neck. That pressure finally has hit home. Ibarra. Dixon. Cracks that forward. Easy scoop for Odell. A thank you to all of our Business Alliance members. Tonight's Business Alliance partner of the match is Oracle. Barrera left that off and siphoned by Pittsburgh.
You have to be extremely careful when to pick and choose, when to try to play through the press. don't want to have any sloppy turnovers, and your defensive half against this Riverhound side, they're too good. You don't want to give them any sliver of hope to win that ball in attacking position. You're going straight at Odell, so if you're Barrera, Perpa, McGlynn, you're really clean and decisive and playing out of the back. You've had a lot of success playing through over the top to Johnson.
Ordonez. Through Jadama. And there's Odell. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of our Community Champion program, children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford are able to come to the matches free of charge. You know, it's interesting, fans wearing the blue or the green. Ray Reed's chosen the green tonight.
There you go.
Same as the pennies for the potential substitutes. Count me as one who would love to see Ray Reed strap those boots on now.
Talk about swagger.
Yeah, no
Different
kidding.
level right there.
That's it. There were a lot of surprised folks, and there were family reasons that Ray Reed ultimately stepped away from the Connecticut program that he and Joseph Moroni essentially shepherded for the better part of 3-4 decades. Opportunity here to coach with Hartford. Really the last thought on his mind, he came to be the technical director. A lot of the jobs that he had previously sort of attained as the head coach at UConn sort of all led to that technical director job. Now, he's the caretaker manager, and he's the first to say that. They're looking for a head coach, and he said eventually they may turn a few heads with who they get. Odell drives that toward the bleachers. Taken back here by Pittsburgh, and just how dangerous could this be? Jadama slides, knocks it out. One thing that really stood out to me, though, when you and I spoke to him, and I hadn't spoken to him since Halloween in 2015, I called a UConn game in Stores against South Florida, but he remembered me and David Vaudreuil together calling that game. He said, hey, thank you for what you do for the sport, and when you finish speaking with him on the phone this week, thank you for what you've given to the sport as a player and now as a commentator. And he's so focused on growing the game in Connecticut, and he did it at Southern Connecticut, and he did it at UConn, and now he's doing it at Hartford Athletic. It was kind of heartwarming to see it through that lens.
That's what you want when someone is going to be calling the shots as a technical director, obviously the caretaker manager at the moment, someone that really cares and is passionate not only about the game, but the area that he's coaching the game in and where he's implemented it and the players that he's bringing in. And he said, yeah, we want good players, but we want better people as well. We want players that are going to bring energy to the team, not take away energy. And it was really interesting the way that he worded it. He was very passionate about it as well.
Header lifted over the bar, and you can tell Blair thought he could have done better that time around.
Hasn't had much of the ball deep, but player that strives on the service that he receives is that target man, big physical presence. You want to get him more involved as well. Dixon been extremely quiet 23 minutes into this game. If you're asking Bob Lilly, you want those guys in and around the 18-yard box, on the ball, extremely confident, expressing themselves, but that hasn't been the case so far for this Riverhounds attack.
Good from Budati getting around Dos Santos. Hartford's broken that first line of pressure. Barrera leading the charge. Dancing. Dolly. Taken from him. And that header from Brewitt sent back. Lewis. And the foul from Perpa. And you could argue he's Unfortunate to pick up the yellow in that moment. He didn't really start the challenge, he merely finished it.
Yeah, it's not something you want to see if you're Ray Reid. Player in the middle of the field picking up a yellow card in this first half. I think it is a harsh yellow. Seems like it is his first foul, and it's not really hard, just obviously arms around Bernardo Forbes. He's extremely careful now. 25 minutes in on a yellow card. It's not the ideal start for Luca Purpa. Just see how comfortable this athletic side is, whether it's Purpa, Barrera in those pockets, combination play, so skillful and technical players.
Curled ball in front and a header tapped wide of target by Dixon.
And he's going to want this one back, Alex Dixon. A player of his quality is going to expect himself to do a lot better here. Good work on the right-hand side from Biasi, excuse me. Then the lack of marking for Hartford Athletic is head-scratching. Dixon finds that soft spot between Bruitt and Budati. Was so unlucky not to find the backlit net there.
He's looking for regular season goal number 49 of his career, which would time with Solomon Asante on the all-time leaderboard. To be fair, Solomon Asante has been sitting there for 11 months.
Not bad company if you ask me, though, to be fair.
No, that's the right area of the table. This is a bright moment for Pittsburgh. Deflected by Jadama. Biasi working the right side. Free kick, Pittsburgh, in a good place to get one.
To be extremely careful. If you're the Athletic now, Hartford Athletic, that's 2 times now a Pittsburgh Riverhounds player has got on the end of a service into the box. First it was Deco, then moments ago it was Alex Dixon. Now it's a dangerous free kick. And they're attacking third just to whip this ball in, cause a bit of chaos in front of Odell.
You see Ordonez. Mikel Williams is about 6'1". Even Dixon showed his ability to use his noggin a few moments ago. Who knows? He said he might want that last one back. He may get a pretty quick chance at that. Set piece here for Pittsburgh in the 27th minute. Forbes, Ordonez. Ball's off to get some nachos. Lyco Inc. Lyco Office Furniture is a proud sponsor of the Hartford Athletic. For over 40 years, Lyco Office Furniture has been furnishing startup to Fortune 500 companies all over New England. Go to lycoinc.com for more information. Mike Watts, Ricky Lopez, Espin. For those who did not come out to Trinity Health Park tonight, you've avoided 93-degree temperatures.
It's a hot one.
It's a hot one, and we may well see a hydration break. You'll know here in the next few minutes. Luckily, the humidity's low, and these teams have been throwing some serious punches early on. Joel Johnson getting jiggy with it. Too jiggy with it.
I'll tell you what, on the left-hand side for Hartford Athletic, they've had a lot of success. The understanding between Joel Johnson and Logan Gadula. Talk about success here, understanding as well. Griffin and Dequa getting on the same page.
And now Dixon from Dos Santos. Dixon cutting, Griffin didn't square it just right, and Odell a happy beneficiary, because if Griffin got that well, it's in the net.
See the understanding in the front four for Pittsburgh Riverhound. This play starts on the right-hand side. Bit of combination play to spring Dixon on the left-hand side. It's a cutback ball. Just so unlucky that Griffin is unable to keep his footing and get on the end of it. Just see how dangerous this Riverhounds attacking unit is. Sloppy turnover, it goes back the other way.
Griffin's 70th consecutive appearance. He's played in every game since becoming a pro in Pittsburgh.
I had the opportunity to play against him in college as well.
How was that?
Nightmare. He's one of those players that you love to play with. Does so much of the dirty work, the effort that he puts in. Just a constant professional. The work rate is never in question for him. The player that when you play against him,
nightmare.
Yes, it's translated just here exactly. You know what you're going to get with him. Such a special player and such a big part of this Riverhound side.
Look, it said that class doesn't graduate, but you look at a guy like Kenardo Forbes, you get a little bit longer in the tooth, and someone needs to do some of the running that maybe Kenardo did 5 years ago, 3 years ago. And he can buzz Danny Griffin.
There's a reason why. 70th consecutive start. You don't get that by chance. You earn that.
He's made himself remarkable. That was half a word. Irreplaceable would be another synonymous effort that I just didn't decide to run with this time. Ball go through McGlynn. And Perpa brought down.
It's not where you want Luca Perpa on the ball. He hasn't had much of it, so naturally comes down to see it, get the touches. You want him to get a bit higher. Him and Barrera stay higher underneath Dally. What that's going to do is going to open up space for McGlynn to operate.
Well, the irony of a hydration break is that it adds more Brignall Vineyard stoppage time at the end of this, which is not what the players are drinking right now. Try and describe what this is like here. You get to the summer months, and look, Hartford is not nearly as humid as some other places. It was 95 with 90% humidity in Louisville. We're used to that in Miami, Tampa Bay, Charleston, but it does present its own sort of factors here in Hartford. On a turf surface, sun still blaring down.
No, I think when you're always playing on artificial turf, you don't understand unless you're playing it. Obviously, your feet, your cleats, they're burning underneath you, and it's just such painful, and it's not fun because I don't know what is made the cleats, what makes it. I don't know, but it hurts a lot. You see a lot of guys get blisters as well, but it's just so. Obviously, you need a hydration break for a reason. It's just so hot. You're unable to swallow the heat. Constant running. You see the towels being put on the back of the net, that trigger point as well. You can do so much fitness. You can do so much preseason work, doing the right things. But once you get on the field with everything that comes on, the sun, like I said, the turf, just a constant stop and go in a game. It really takes a toll on you. You can just see the players' faces, how hard it is 30 minutes into this game already.
I spoke to a women's soccer player in the SEC a couple of years ago and said, how do you deal with this? And they said, I put tin foil in my cleats and it reflects the heat back down. I don't think that's, I don't know if that's true or if that's a mental thing, but I heard it. Apparently Reynolds wrap is the answer.
There you go. I mean, I've never heard that, but hey, if it works for her, I guess it works. But it's playing on a turf field at this temperature, it's not fun. It's not fun. That's what you ask players. Obviously, the ball rolls different on a natural grass field as well, but one thing with the turf field, if you wet it, you know what you're going to get, and it's very predictable to play on, so that has a true benefit as well.
By the way, sometimes we like to think about the road not traveled. Jamali Waite is starting here for Pittsburgh for the 10th time in the regular season. Also got some time in the Open Cup. Hartford cut him in February. Ultimately, after a time at FDU and playing for Ray Reid at Connecticut, he was cut before Ray Reid officially joined the franchise later in the spring. Ray Reid goes, I'm not quite sure why he's not playing here in Hartford. Has really good respect for Jamali Waite. But you wonder if Jamali Wade here is sitting here thinking clean sheet and a win would feel all right here against the team that cut me.
Of course. I mean, every player wants, it doesn't work out for an organization, they let you go. You have something to prove, not only to yourself, but to the organization, saying, hey, this is what you lost. You lost me. I'm just going to show my best against you. So I think the 3 points is first on his mind, but wouldn't hurt to get a clean sheet as well.
Did you and I call the Pittsburgh FC Cincinnati match where he stepped in for the first time? It was funny because at the end of that match, you said, okay, the #1 overall pick for Cincinnati just won the starting goalkeeping job in my mind. You go, I think Jamali Wade may have too. Right on the money.
Talent on that one, yeah.
Yeah. Comes through Williams. Orchestrating. He only needs one finger to wag back and forth to make his point. Located in Windsor, Connecticut, Day Hill Dome will feature the region's only full-size indoor field plus multiple outdoor fields. Visit dayhilldome.com for more information. It's the Day Hill Dome, not the Dimsdale Dimmadome. Ricky, do you know? Okay. Someone tweet Ricky and explain this joke. Here's Pittsburgh at the edge of the 18. Going through Forbes, who was offside.
And it's really interesting to see, after that hydration break, just the different tempo that this game is being played at, and understanding maybe the tactical change that both of these head coaches have told their players to understand. I think one for Hartford Athletic, I mentioned it before, you want Perp and Barrera to stay a bit higher. You want them to be that extra pivot point, that supporting player underneath Lewis, underneath Daly. Those are the special players that you want in and around that box. You don't want them to come down, really clog the space for McGlynn to operate. This is better already, McGlynn being that pivot player. You have Luca Perpa just off his shoulder. Same as Barrera as well. Really spread apart this Riverhounds back line.
Finally, a leading touch here for Daly. And that'll be a corner. Ball lifted in front. Weight not challenged. Dos Santos tied up with Budati once more.
But it's really good hold-up play from Daly at first to bring in players underneath him, whether it's Perpa, Barrera, Daly. It is a foul on this right-hand side between the outside backs coming together. Budati just gives you that extra angle, playing on the edges, a different service quality to play through as well, but give credit to Dos Santos. Comes out not once but twice, beats Budati, and gets clipped on.
Joke's on me. Solomon Asante just scored his 50th USL Championship goal, and he waited a long time. Indy 11-1, Memphis 1, and the expected goals in that game, 1.55 to 0.13. That's going on in the Eastern Conference right now elsewhere. Memphis closer to the top of the standings. Indy and Hartford both are tussling below the playoff line. That's Indy's first goal scored in nearly 500 minutes. Detroit, New Mexico are scoreless. That game's ongoing on ESPN Plus right now too. Birmingham and Tulsa have just kicked off. Tampa Bay and Atlanta have kicked off. Griffin. Oh, that's a delightful ball. Dequa! Corner. What a recovery. That was utter filth from Griffin.
Just such good movement from the Riverhounds in that final third. They're so good at spreading out their opposition to open up gaps. Good understanding from Dequa and Dixon as well to work together. Dixon makes this peel-off run. Dequa comes down the middle of the field, and what a pick out that is from Danny Griffin. Little over the shoulder. Good first touch from Dequa, but give credit to Logan Gadula. Comes across extremely quick to close down this angle. Talking about the importance of Danny Griffin for this Riverhound side. Does the dirty work, but can also pick out a pass.
For Gadula, that was a tremendous recovery. Ball whipped across, punched away. Meanwhile, Loudon dealing with a weather delay here tonight. So surely we welcome all the Loudon fans that probably became Hartford and Pittsburgh fans by proxy from group play in 2020. Ball knotted toward the top of the 18. Lewis pursues, and Williams skies that toward Dixon.
Going back to that Dequa opportunity, just the understanding to play off of each other. Dequa, Dixon. Dixon peels off, it opens up a gap for Dequa. Even give credit.
Oh, brilliant. Odell had that read like a really good Clancy novel.
But it's really good understanding from the back line from Hartford Athletic. As Jadama gets pulled across, Logan Gadula understands as well to come across. His positioning is pitcher perfect to close down Dequa. It's been really good understanding and really good rotation in the back line for Hartford Athletic and Ray Reid. Not many times have they been 1v1 or getting pulled apart in difficult situations. It's been lacking playing out of again. It's a wayward pass from Brewitt.
Couple of scatter shot switches. Hartford Athletic is proud to partner with Baronet Coffee, a fourth-generation family-owned business. Founded in 1930, Baronet roasts and sells only the finest specialty coffees. Go to baronetcoffee.com, save 20% on your first order with the code Hartford Athletic. Dos Santos curling, and that header steered off frame.
It's an ongoing theme that Riverhounds are getting on every single ball that's being whipped into a dangerous area. First it was Dixon, then Dequa, now it's Ibarra. Something to right that ship if you're the back line of Hartford Athletic. You can't give time and space to a Pittsburgh player to get on the end of any crosses. Fortunate enough, they haven't had much to do if you're Odell.
Best opportunities for Pittsburgh haven't actually ended up on target, to your point. Dos Santos diagonally across the face. Budati steps in. McGlynn launches. Dolly. Wait, don't tell me. Got there. Free kick, Pittsburgh. Dixon, upended by Gadula. Being told that's his last foul, sans a yellow card. So Gadula avoids a yellow fate. Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our partners, Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. Griffin, diving header, Jadama. And it's Lewis pulling away from the pack. Danny Barrera quaffs this to the opposite side. There's Barrera. Hasn't gotten that many touches to this point. No shots for Hartford at this stage. Pittsburgh just over a goal in XG, but nothing to show for it. Largely of their own failure to put it on frame. Forbes cuts it through. Dequa was offside.
They start to find those pockets of space. Bernardo Forbes is right in front of that back line, behind that midfield line of Hartford Athletic. Something if you're either Jadama, Brewitt, you to have that conversation with Connor McGlynn to drop down, be that security blanket. Don't give a player like Forbes, whether it's Dixon or Dequa as well, the time and space on your 18-yard box. Fortunate enough, he pulls it a bit too far. Dequa's caught offside. This Riverhound side is too good. Too many talented players around that 18-yard box. You don't want to give them that time and space.
Brignall Vineyard stoppage time. 3 added minutes here at the end of the first 45. Snap back by Barrera. Your eyes, Ricky, were as big as dinner plates. Those were a lot of passes that were asking Pittsburgh, no, take me.
Not convincing switch of play here from Tom Brewitt. To be fair, Hartford Athletic has, when they get in the final third, in the middle third as well, very patient, methodical in the way that they're pulling apart this Pittsburgh side. So Barrera's getting more involved, pulling the strings that we've seen. They had a dead ball opportunity here last time, Hartford. They tried something straight off the training ground. So looking maybe something cheeky from Ray Reid and his boys. Looking at Connor McGlynn just stepping off the right-hand side of the ball. Get hit it from this distance that we've seen. That man, the special player, the number 10, to whip this ball in maybe. A plethora of options for this dead ball here.
Barrera came off of Jadama, and you can see Budati. He was smiling like a butcher's dog. Pittsburgh fans know what I mean by that. Hartford fans likely less so. Maybe if the Penguins played the Whalers back in the day. Waite strides into it in the final minute of first half stoppage. As the sun has conveniently tucked itself behind the bleachers here on the near side of the field. Should make for a really enjoyable, still a little steamy evening in the second half. For a Pittsburgh side that's only lost once against Hartford. Going square into the locker room. Not a bad place to be, but you wouldn't blame them for being greedy here with likely the last opportunity of the first half. And after some consternation, Budati went up to meet that, and the simple header away toward Wheat was enough to send us to the intermission here, Ricky. Scoreless after 45.
I think it was an even match. I think Pittsburgh really grew into the game as the half went on. You saw Forbes getting on the ball a bit more. You can just see how explosive they are working together and so direct in the running. Hartford Athletic and Ray Reid, I think, have been extremely good and solid defensively in that first half, not giving Pittsburgh Riverhound any really clean look at goal. You need to get Purple on the ball a bit more. Barrera What is Joel Johnson saying this next 45 minutes? Player that has had the success but kind of faded. So all to play for this next 45 minutes. Really interesting to see the tactical change for both managers.
All right, could we see Mertz? Could we see Herzog? There are some major names that could impact the game in the second 45. Coming up at halftime, a look around the championship on this Saturday night, and a look at what's coming up for Hartford as they try and inch toward the playoff line. Scorless at halftime in Hartford. Welcome back to Hartford. We hope you're enjoying this match wherever you may be. Just like that gentleman there on the left-hand side. Dance like everybody's watching. That's what I always say. Mike and Ricky back with you. Let's take a look at the Eastern Conference and get you caught up on what's going around the championship right now. It's brought to you in part by Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. All right here, buddy. Louisville City has expanded their advantage atop the Eastern Conference, but not by as many as they had hoped against Phoenix on Wednesday. So at this point, Memphis a chance to jump Tampa Bay tonight is certainly intriguing. Maybe pull distance away from Pittsburgh. And look, this is a big, big game for Pittsburgh to try and keep that third and final first-round home playoff game.
Yeah, it's a massive game. On the road, it's never going to be easy against a Hartford Athletic team that underneath Ray Reid, they're very well organized, hard to break down. The only thing that's been lacking is that final play. And for Hartford Athletic, obviously you see 10th place, not ideal. Opportunity here. You're at home against this Pittsburgh Riverhound team that's going to come at you in the second half. Put the ball in behind and try to keep climbing up this table. You see in the 11 taking on Memphis at the moment as well. So something to keep an eye on as Hartford Athletic is still trying to climb up this Eastern Conference side.
Yeah, if Hartford 12 points down is able to get a result here, they've got games at hand on Tulsa, Miami. You never know. Maybe they can start to make some real headway. And why do I say that? Because Indy, Miami, Tulsa, they are all on the upcoming schedule. You get two of them at home. So this is the meat of your schedule. Pittsburgh, Birmingham, Memphis. If you can find a way to get 4 or 6 points out of that, Indy, Miami, Tulsa, you could take the teams around you and jump.
And I keep saying they're at home because it's so important for not only in this league, but leagues around the world to take maximum points when you're in your home stands, sleeping in your own bed. You don't have to deal with the travel and whatever that comes with it. And this is a massive game starting here, and then you see their schedule coming up. Like you said, Mike, teams that are just above them, hanging around that playoff line. Massive, massive, massive opportunity here for Hartford Athletic and coming up in their schedule.
And speaking with Ray Reid, he said, look, we'd love to give these guys, these players, these fans a little bit of fun, also a little success. We'll see where we're at in 6 or 7 games. That'll decide the tenor of the last month and a half of the year. We've got another half to go here. First half highlights and more coming up in Hartford.
We all have goals. But let's be honest. Most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals. I'm on a routine. I'm on a routine.
Trying to take down their rival. The legend has done it again here in Sacramento. He's turned the whole game around.
It's a goal for Orange County SC and their first of the season.
And that's full time. The old guard with a new trophy. Orange County wins the USL Championship final.
You strive to stay on top of your health, but you can't always see what's coming. So whether you're ready or not, we are. At Trinity Health of New England, offering you expert orthopedic care throughout our hospitals and physician offices, whenever you need us, for whatever it is. You didn't plan on the pain, but you can make your next move an easy one. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
We welcome you back to Hartford. The Bonanza takes a well-deserved breather here at halftime. I would never wear those drums in this heat. Oh, I don't have that kind of juice. Here's some news and notes from the USL Championship and beyond. Mertz is back. Crawford is back. That's Robbie squared mathematically. Eastern Conference welcoming back a couple major players. Mertz in from Atlanta and Crawford making the move east from Monterey Bay. How about the Open Cup on Wednesday night? Sure, Orlando and Red Bulls, that's fun, but all eyes on Kansas City going to a sold-out Sacramento.
That's going to be massive, not only for Mark Briggs and the boys, but also for this USL Championship. All you ask for, team, coach, fan, player, whatever it is an opportunity. An opportunity to host an MLS side and to play for a trophy if you get by this game. Massive game on the 27th on ESPN+.
Good news is it's sold out. Bad news, their home unbeaten streak is over, and for the first time since 2018, nobody is going to be unbeaten at home in the USL Championship. It makes those road games just a little more valuable. Here's a look at the scoreboard from the games over the midweek and the game that joined us in beginning at 7 Eastern time. Indy and Memphis 1-1 at halftime. You and I, we talked about pregame. What was going on Friday night in Colorado Springs?
Talk about a banger from A.J. Patterson as well. I haven't seen a goal like that in quite some time. Top shelf. Good result for Charleston Battery on the road against arguably one of the top teams in this USL Championship, and then obviously Blue City and Phoenix Rising.
Yeah, that was a real humdinger. Here's a look at the upcoming schedule here for tonight. Out west, Oakland and Vegas are right at the playoff line. That's fascinating. San Diego trying to get back into the mix for number one. Phoenix taking on a Sacramento team that may or may not care about this game tonight.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see if you're Mark Briggs. How do you balance this USL then obviously hosting the Open Cup. I'm looking at Oakland Roots and Las Vegas Lights, two teams that are fighting, like you said, Mike, from the playoff position. That line right there, it's a massive game for both of those squads. And LA Galaxy, too, and Orange County, never an easy out playing against Los Dos.
All right, so that's what's coming up tonight. You can see all those matches on ESPN+. Meanwhile, on ESPN2 and SiriusXM FC, the USL Summer Showcase was played on Wednesday night. Get your mint juleps ready. Come out to Churchill Downs. That's where all the league and team executives met. Jake Edwards overseeing the proceedings. The Coopers bringing out some awesome gifts for Devin and I. That bourbon has not been opened yet, I think. Aiden Quinn, Niall McCabe, Paulo Del Piccolo coming out. A little bit of. Have you ever seen this this last game? Hold on one sec. This.
I've seen it actually.
Playing under the table?
In an arcade, yeah.
Oh, okay. It was too humid for me to play that outside. Here's what actually happened during the game. Finished 0-0, but a good number of chances for both sides.
No, it's a really competitive game between these two sides. The final that never was. But, hey, I know a guy that was on the call. I know the guy was on ESPN too.
True enough. Yeah. Look, it finished scoreless, but it was a fun match. 10,000 plus in the venue. Enjoyable to say the least. Those could be future U.S. national teamers there in the stands. Scoreless at halftime between Hartford and Pittsburgh. Highlights coming up.
There's comfort in routine, and discomfort can be a disruption. But Trinity Health of New England is here to help with an experienced urology team offering advanced diagnostics and treatment expertise throughout our hospitals and physician offices. Because if something is keeping you from living well, you deserve better and the very best care to make it happen. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there. You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss a beat. But sometimes it happens. And Trinity Health of New England is ready with comprehensive cardiovascular expertise delivered with commitment and compassion throughout our network of hospitals and physician offices. So when you trust your care to Trinity, you won't have to hope for the best. You can set your heart on it. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there. You've made changes, smart choices, a commitment. So this can be hard to understand. But at Trinity Health of New England, we do. Throughout our hospitals and physician offices, our dedicated weight management team provides expert guidance and care for a successful, personalized journey to better health. Because we understand it's not about what you hope to lose, but all you can expect to gain. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Tonight's USL Championship match in Hartford is presented in part by Last Fly Airport Parking, a proud partner of the Hartford Athletic. Save 20% on your airport parking by pre-booking. lastfly.com. Let's take a look at first half highlights between Pittsburgh and Hartford as we get you ready for the second 45. We begin in the 8th minute of play. Canardo Forbes helping to orchestrate. It's Griffin seeking Dixon. Two options, neither make contact.
But this is when the Riverhounds are at their best. Players running off of each other, combination play, especially on that 18-yard box. Good little pick out from Griffin, but unable Dixon to knock this down to an oncoming runner. Hartford Athletic, they really started on the front foot with this man right here, Joel Johnson, skipping through a couple players on the left-hand side. So skillful, which is a bit awkwardly for Luca Purpo, unable to bring it down.
Skip ahead to the 28th minute, and Pittsburgh spent nearly half of the final 15 minutes in the attacking third. Dixon getting to the end line. Griffin couldn't pull that in. Then the 39th minute continued here for Pittsburgh from the halfway line. Griffin, that's a dime.
That's an unbelievable splitting pass, breaking lines over 20, 25 yards. Right to the foot of Deco, but give credit to Logan Gadula. Comes out, Positioning perfect and denies Dequa a chance at that opening goal.
And with that, we're ready for another half of play here. Matches galore tonight in the USL Championship. It is Pittsburgh taking on Hartford here in Connecticut tonight. The temperatures have dipped under 90 degrees and the sun has dipped out of sight as well. We'll turn the lights on and here we go. Ball come over to McGlynn.
Halftime substitutions for Pittsburgh. Entering the game, number 10, Russell Cicerone.
Robbie Mertz has come on at halftime. We were wondering how long it would take for him to enter the equation. We've got a pretty swift answer.
Replacing number 18.
Mertz from Upper St. Clair in the Pittsburgh area.
14 seconds.
To Michigan, played 2 years at Pitt,
At 45.
and then 2 years with Atlanta too. Reacquired here over the last week. Russell Cicerone has come on as well, the dynamic attacking threat. He's got 6 goals over the last 11 games. Those are the main players off the bench that you felt Bob Lilly could come in and really impact the game.
And what you're going to see is Alex Dixon is going to come out to the right-hand side, play this wing back position. Mertz is going to play underneath Cicerone and Dequa. Other folks are going to drop back as well. Play next to Griffin.
Update from elsewhere. Maxi Rodriguez scores a penalty for Detroit, but New Mexico has equalized through Chris Weehan. That game at Keyworth in Hamtramck is 1-1.
Those are the spots that you want Danny Barrera picking up the ball in your attacking half, pulling the strings, dictating tempo as well. Such a special play in the pocket. Really floats around, has the freedom to go where he sees fit. Him and Luca Purpa do such a good job of working out with each other. Here's an opportunity here for Pittsburgh.
And here come the Riverhounds striding forward. Dequa leaves for Dixon after Mertz did all that work. McGlynn shot that to the moon.
I think it takes a bit too long, Robbie Mertz there, to make his decision. If you're going to go by yourself, have a crack on goal, just slows down the tempo, trying to play this ball in. With a bit of confusion between Dixon and Dequa. Who's going to take it? Who's going to leave it? It's an opportunity that goes to the wayside for the Riverhounds.
Forbes, Griffin. Dixon. Dixon brought it down, goes through Shane Wheat. Update down in St. Pete. Steven Dos Santos equalizes for the Rowdies after Darwin Mateus scored for Atlanta United 2. That game now 1-1. Look, if you're Hartford or Pittsburgh, you want your 3 points tonight, make no mistake, but I almost feel like they can both agree. They hope everyone else around them drops as many points to the cutting room floor as possible. A lot of draws benefit these teams. Just not here.
I just feel like this game is playing at a higher tempo coming out of the break. The ball's moving a lot faster, crisp in their passing, decision-making. Been a bright start 5 minutes in from both sides.
Amazing what the sun going down can bring to a game, right? Barrera, constitution of his jersey was tested, and he's immediately whacked this into play. one thing that stood out to me in speaking with Ray Reid, this is his 5th game in charge. Offside flag up here on Joel Johnson. Said the first 3 games I was in charge, competitive, the team really brought it. Did not feel that was the case in the 3-1 loss away to Charleston. He said we did not compete, we did not connect passes. He said I can wear my emotions on my sleeves. I didn't have to say much to the team other than that was unacceptable, and feels like they've responded.
And that's what part of it being a professional is, obviously taking accountability when you don't perform, when you come out flat. And also said something that I took note of, that yeah, you can have an off day, touch is a bit heavy, too long, whatever it is, the accuracy is not there, but you can always control your effort. And he said that his team was lacking that effort in Charleston Battery. I asked him, how do you get a response out of your team? Is it a vocal thing? Is it just during fitness throughout the week? Whatever it is, there's different
fitness,
whatever methods it is for coaches as well. I mean, I've had coaches that made you run after a game.
Sure.
Really. But he said, no, these players know, because they're not only fighting for this season, as well as next season, really, as well. They want to keep their job. They have to prove it to me.
Cicerone not going to win that race against Joel Johnson. Try to flick it through for Dixon. Yeah, ultimately, the new sheriff is still going to be in touch with the old sheriff.
Exactly.
It's still the technical director that you're playing for right now, and Ray Reid's not going anywhere. Budati streaking out in front of Nate DeSantos. Little bump, not finally enough to knock it out over the line. Let's tell you that you don't want to miss Hartford Athletics' next match here at Trinity Health Stadium on July 30th at 7 p.m. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and for more information. July 30th, they'll take on Birmingham Legion after a midweek game against RGV at HEB Park, which our good friend Devin Kerr likes to say is where dreams go to die. We'll see if Hartford can dream on. Yeah, we talk about heat, but yeah. Rio Grande Valley heat is a different heat.
That's a different heat.
Wheat. Ball dipping through. It's a decent idea. Deke was laid it back. Cicerone's maintained. Soars into the air. Mertz walks up as Odell camps under it.
One thing that always impresses me about this Riverhounds attacking unit, just how good they are at creating space for each other, playing off of each other. As Dixon peels off to the right-hand side, it's Deke making this darting run from left to right. Good first touch out of himself to cut it back to his strike partner, Cicerone. I think if he goes down there, looking at a PK for the Riverhounds, he likes to stay on his feet. Tries to put pure power by Odell, but give credit to the Hartford Athletic goalkeeper. Stands up big, doesn't give any angle, makes a big-time save.
McGlynn pestered by Mertz. I think back to speaking with Bob Lilly ahead of the beginning of the 2021 season. He goes, look, we used to have Kerr and Adewale and Greenspan and Nico Brett, and then the next year it was Mertz and Steven Dos Santos and Ryan James and Thomas Van Kayziel. This huge exodus of talent, because when you perform well on a winning team, everyone wants a piece of your success. Well, they were able to get Mertz back here, been able to maintain a greater core than maybe any year since Bob Lilly took over. All of a sudden, you add a guy like Dane Kelly, and you go, hey, maybe we're onto something here. The last 4 games have shown why people were so high on them to begin with for the 6-match winless skid.
Now he's going to claim your respect, earn your respect playing against the Riverhound side and any team that's coached by Bob Lilly. Success that he's had throughout his career.
Watch out, Lewis. Teeing this for Dolly. Leads it back, McGlynn. McGlynn! Oh, what a hit! Par for the course for that magic egg. 1-0. Daly! A.J. Patterson has a little bit of competition for goal of the week. And that got this crowd going.
Take a bow. Connor McGlynn. It starts out nicely on this left-hand side. Talk about hold-up play. Something I mentioned in that first half. Between Lewis and Daly. To pull players in. Holds off his defender. Nice little drop back of the ball. Apologies needed. One thing on his mind, head down, strikes through the ball so cleanly. Picture perfect, technical ability, top class, dip, whip, power, pace, all the above from Connor McGlynn. No keeper stopping that. Ronaldo-esque to give his side a 1-0 lead in this match.
55th minute, first of the year. And what if I told you that the expected goals model says that is a 3% chance from that distance to score that goal? McGlynn, as always, is in that top 3% as a ball striker.
That's what I'm about to say. How many times have we seen him pull up from distance, score goals, wonder goals throughout his career as well? It's such a value to have when you're a center midfielder to arrive late. You see them so much unmarked. It's so hard to defend. You need to take the initiative if you're back line, someone step out of your line. That leaves you vulnerable through combination play. Having a player like Connor McGlynn just to step up, have the courageousness, the bravery, and the quality to pull it off. What a goal that was, what a strike.
Believe it or not, Stats Performance actually downgraded it to 2% chance, 0.02 expected goals from their first shot of the game. Dequa dinked that wide. Got it from Cicerone in a dangerous spot.
They play so well together, Dequa and Cicerone. This time it's Cicerone shifting out to the left-hand side. And understanding that Dequa, you need to have a presence in the middle of the field. If you're Tom Brote, you're going to want to do a bit better than this. It's far too easy for Cicerone. Dequa, you need to open up your hips, let that ball come across you, and then you don't need to put too much power and just guide it into that far post. It gets it all wrong. You can see the frustration, hand up. And apologies to Russell Cicerone.
He's a halftime substitute. It would take a lot to see Cicerone draw anything more than a talking to from that. You know, it's funny, Ricky. I saw Daly take the ball, and he leaves it back, and my first thought is, you finally got the ball in the area. Why would you drop that back? And then you realize it's McGlynn trailing.
And he knew exactly what he was doing. When you have a striker, a target man, to be able to pull players in through combination play, requiring so much attention, such a value to have.
Here comes Cicerone. The Giant has awoken! Odell, good stop, point blank, and rolled wide at the end. Mertz getting forward, Dixon serving that into a really dangerous spot.
Sloppy turnover in the middle third from Lewis. I think Cicerone has an option to go to goal, plays it out to Dixon. And that near post run from Robbie Mertz. You know what, another big time save from Odell. It's twice already in this second half, and Dequa was unable to get around it. Just good understanding in the movement. You always need a near post runner. It's Robbie Mertz.
Like he never left. Who's the running back, muscle hamster? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers running back? I see Mertz run and I think muscle hamster. It's lost on him. All cranked over to Dixon. Since 2018, the Fix has been Hartford County's leading wellness spa. Whether you need a quick B12 shot to increase energy or vitamin infusion to rehydrate, this is the place to reset your mind and body. Take time, treat yourself, and invest in your health. Corner coming here.
Just start to feel how fluid the attack is now with insertion. And Robbie Mertz, Cicerone, the understanding, they're playing together. It's been really good in the attacking third in the phase for Bob Lilly's side already.
Forbes. It's an onslaught. Dixon. There's Doug Martin. Not the biggest guy, he's just built like a truck. Powerful.
I would have never guessed that.
Understood. Throw here for Hartford, and they have to find a way past this trio of pressing threats. Right up to Dixon. Contemplative moment for Pittsburgh, the edge of the attacking third. Wheat. Forbes. Wheat. Dixon. Ball forward. Odell came out for it. Nobody really got much of that. The presenting partner tonight on Community Health Night is Trinity Health of New England, always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Health of New England, care that's always there. We have some stands around the venue here tonight, promoting different aspects of health here in the community. Pittsburgh into the final third once more, header leaping. And again, skews away from frame. That's Dequo got up to meet it. Ricky, it's frustrating for this attack for Pittsburgh that's created nearly 2 expected goals. They haven't made Odell work very hard.
And again, it's Cicerone playing the creation maker. Ball in, whipped in to the back post. Again, Dequo finds a soft spot in the back line of Hartford Athletic, right on top of that 6-yard box. Another opportunity that he has a quality to put on target.
There goes Lewis, seeking Rashawn Dolly. Mertz. Good step by Gadula.
For Albert Deep, when you have 6 goals on the year, you can expect yourself to put this one on target. You've had 3 clear-cut opportunities in the second half. You have the quality, missing the execution, the composure in that final third. Take a deep breath, make solid contact with the ball. Twice he scuffed it wide. This one it's with his head.
Turned over to Pittsburgh. Dos Santos bounces up to Forbes. Dixon. Sprung that over Barrera. Headed down by Mertz, and now Brewitt pushes it away. Barrera. He ran out of real estate. He got there. Taken back here through Dixon and grabbed by Wheat. Wheat could have a go. He did have a go, but he did put it wide.
But you love to see this from Wheat coming off of his back line and crucial interception. And tries his luck to put his laces through this, trying to catch Odell sleeping. If you're Hartford Athletic, you have to be far more cleaner, and you're building out of the back. And way too many sloppy turnovers the last 5 minutes, giving this Pittsburgh Riverhounds side a chance to go and ask the questions of Odell.
Here comes Pittsburgh again. Mertz. That's a broken floor that he's running into. helps to slow this down, stem the tide. Santos thrust away from Dequa. Dolly. Lewis is trying to hold up his run. That slide's going to draw a card. Williams into the book.
And as this ball turns, it's a good run here from Daly. I think he takes a bit too long. You want him just to put that ball in behind and tell Lewis to go get it. The real estate has the advantage for Lewis as Ordonez and Wheat are caught flat-footed. Now as Williams picks up that yellow card, he's extremely careful. And the challenge that he goes into, the positioning, you don't want to pick up a silly second yellow, give this Hartford Athletic side a man advantage.
4G Recycling presents a pair of subs. Peter Lee Vassell replaces Joel Johnson. Rashawn Dolly comes off, replaced by one Carlos Obregon.
Replacing number 18, Rashawn Dolly. Substitutions in the 67th minute.
A set piece here for Hartford. Grabbed the lead on a stunner from Connor McGlynn, who, when you used to speak to Harry Watling, he'd roll out some kind of list of ball strikers that he coached in academies in England. He goes, McGlynn's right there with any of them. He proved why tonight. Westfield Bank is proud to support Hartford Athletic, and all they do is make our communities better. Need more convenience from your bank? At Westfield Bank, you can bank your way. Learn more at westfieldbank.com. Pittsburgh, 3 wins and a draw in the last 4. It would be a bit of a stunner to see them go down in the form that they had found. Vassell chopped out by Griffin. Vassell, a former draft pick of LAFC. You were around him there for a short stint.
Very comfortable on the ball. Talk about ball strikers as well. Really high technique, high IQ in the spaces that he picks up. A very slippery player, so look for him on his left-hand side. They have tendencies to drop in as Bugatti picks up a yellow card.
Bugatti, another guy that was picked by Bob Bradley's LAFC. Coming up through Club Brugge in Belgium.
An interesting change here from Ray Reid. Peter Lee Vassell, Obregon Jr. going to be spearheading the attack.
Rivera and Edward Kizza coming into the game here for Pittsburgh. So Bob Lilly says, okay, nice subs. I raise you. Rivera and Kizza. For Kizza, he's entering into the group after 8 games played in Memphis. 110 minutes there. They're brought to you by 4G Recycling. This ball recycled out by Kizza. Launched toward Mertz. Vassell. Obregon. Lewis is sprinting forward. Obregon. Referee says no, play on.
impact felt. Obregon so opportunistic in the way that he runs the line.
Ball through. Good stuff by Jadama. Living dangerously.
Start to see that this game opens up. On one side you have Lewis and Obregon. On the other hand, you have Forbes, Kiza, Cicerone. Talking about Obregon, just his movement. I think it's such a thing that he doesn't get enough credit for. I don't think there's enough there for me. As Rivera comes in underneath him, it would have been outside the box. I think he is looking for that contact. Obregon as well. Felt anything, he was always going to go down. Revere, Ordonez, Williams, and Wheat, you have to be extremely careful now. Playing against Deagle, more of a target man. You always knew where he was, Obregon, but likes to sprint out. Either it's a left-hand side, right-hand side, running in behind can come to feet as well. So you have a lot of communication and passing off. You don't want to get crossed over as well. It's a different type of player Obregon is than Daly.
There's Odell. I have a feeling he's in for a very busy final 20 minutes. That'll bounce out. The Performance Lab is an all-inclusive model that brings the latest technologies for pain relief, wellness, and mobility together under one roof. With one-on-one treatments and a customized approach to fit your needs, the Performance Lab will get you moving and feeling your best. I'd have to check with Nicholas Murray because all good stats come from St. Nick. Expected goals right now are 2.27 to 0.02. And Hartford leads. If that sticks around, I do wonder what the lowest expected goals that resulted in a win has been in this league. This 0.02 has got to be playing with some real fire. That said, one shot for Hartford could easily upend the whole apple cart. Driven away by Jamali Waite. The referee never signaled for advantage. Brewitt shown a yellow card. Apparently the second contact enough to push him over the edge.
I think he gets away with it on that first challenge. Right here on Cicerone, just comes in quicker than him. A lot of the body, none of the ball, and then just comes through Danny Griffin. There's always going to be a foul right in front of the referee. And you have Budati and Brewitt in the back line on yellow cards. The right-hand side needs to be extremely careful. You can just see the emotion from Brewitt. You don't want to play into that. You should be contained, understanding when you're on a yellow card.
To your point, Budati, Brewitt, and then Perpa got one in the first half, and Gadula has already been warned after committing 5 fouls. He's on the verge of a card. Mertz, floating, header is in! And Cicerone pulls Pittsburgh onto level terms. A long, long time coming. His 25th goal for the Riverhounds and his 7th in the last dozen games.
He's made his impact felt since coming on this field. It was a player that would shift out to the right-hand side, left-hand side. Now it's him playing in the middle of the field. Out jumps Budati. If you're Odell, not the best decision. If you come off your line, you have to be extremely certain that you're getting to the end of that ball. Talk about a little dink ball from Robbie Mertz. Cicerone rises up like a salmon above everyone and heads it down. Massive goal to get his 9th on the year. You can see the signal. Talk about a big-time player stepping up at a big-time opportunity. Brilliant goal from Russell Cicerone to draw this game up in the 75th minute.
And what a time for a hydration break. Cicerone's 25th for Pittsburgh is an equalizer here with a quarter hour to go. The action here has been pretty good. It's why we're going to remind you that Hartford does return home On July 30th for a 7 p.m. match here at Trinity Health Stadium. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more information. That matchup will be against Birmingham after a midweek game at RGV, and they'll go away to Memphis, take on Indy 11 on August 13th. For Pittsburgh, they'll take on Tulsa, go to Indy, host Memphis, host Red Bull 2. Game against Tulsa could have some real juice to it, given all the changes that Tulsa organization have made of late. Let's give you an idea of what's going on elsewhere here in the East tonight. Tampa Bay has now pulled ahead at halftime. Steven Dos Santos now has scored twice against Atlanta. Tulsa still leads 1-0. Lebo Maloto scored in the 16th minute of that game. Loudon in Miami still waiting to kick off. And that one going eventually. Detroit, New Mexico, 1 goal apiece. Indy and Memphis, 1-1. And on we go off the hydration break. Let's be really clear here, Ricky. Hartford's not comfortable with their results at home. They aren't comfortable with any of the results, but they're tired of conceding bad goals, dropping points on their home ground.
I think you've asked Ray Reid about this goal. I'm going to be a bit frustrated. First, in the lack of rotation, as Robbie Mertz comes in from a deep position, there's no one to come out and really ask questions of him. Dan Odell playing with fire. And then just a ball to the back post, and if you're Odell and you come off that line, you're extremely certain you're getting on the end of that one, punching it away, putting it out of danger. He goes and he stops, and Cicerone gets the better of Budati.
Vassell for Obregon, stabs that back. Perpa kept it alive. Now Andre Lewis. Gadula, Perpa, McGlynn. That's too far even for him. Well, in this scenario, he's tried to lob a keeper or two. Lewis, clean, Vassell. Gadula. Look at all those white jerseys compressed together.
And if you're Hartford, you need someone to play wide. What that's going to do is going to pull apart the Riverhound side.
Oh, or that. That was dicing that got by Obregon. But I mean, you're talking about needle in a haystack to hit that ball consistently.
Exactly. So if you're, whether you're Peter Lee Vassell or Jay Lewis, you want to be, you're in possession by those touch lines. What it's going to do is make Rivera and Dixon stay true to himself in their positioning, which is going to open gaps for Barrera and Perpa to get in those soft spots between lines, play underneath Obregon, play down the middle. It's so much hope.
Oh. There have been some iffy moments. Odell's come out a bit aggressively. I'm not sure Chidama's really in the wrong there.
Lack of understanding. We've seen, like you said, Mike, throughout the second half, you have a communication. If a keeper comes out, understanding that the defender just needs to roll it into his path and get it all wrong, but lucky enough, it ends up on the outside of the post and gives his Riverhound side another opportunity here.
Forbes, header down. He was touched and eventually cleared. Odell got enough to keep that out. Set pieces for Hartford becoming a bit of a heart palpitation maker. Driven ahead by Danny Rivera.
Something I touched too in that first half was just the difficult situation that they've had dealing with balls being pumped into dangerous areas. See, the goal ends up, the ball being crossed in from Robbie Mertz. Another one, shaky moment from Odell. This corner kick from Forbes.
Peter Lee Vassell fires Obregon. All Hartford Athletic would like to thank Connecticut's own Ripe Bar Juice, the official cocktail mixer, Hartford Athletic. 10 minutes to go. 1 goal apiece. Outside of that decisive 2020 game, Hartford has really struggled to get good results against Pittsburgh. Vassell. Floated into the air, out to Lewis. What a battle with Lewis. And out towards Cicerone, picked up by Mertz. Sprinting Pittsburgh in pursuit of all 3 points. Mertz for Cicerone. The incoming adjustment here for Hartford. Earl Martinez comes in, Luca Perpa out. That is a major attacking weapon to bring off the bench with 10 minutes to go.
Yeah, that I'm personally extremely high on Ariel Martinez. The difference maker. This time in Miami, we see the success that he's had playing underneath that striker. Play that's so comfortable on the ball. Combination play. Really quick in the spaces that he picks up as well. Look for him to make his impact felt. 8 minutes left. More than enough time for a player of his quality to make that damage and make his impact felt.
Odell. Striking out of net again. And Martinez tangled up with Dixon. By the way, still 1 change available for Bob Lilly in Pittsburgh. We've got Angelo Kelly and Jelani Peters. It's going to be Peters that proves the finale here. Forbes off. 5th and final change for the Riverhounds. That's a defender on and a attacking midfielder off. Now they showed 11. Yeah, you might be a little surprised if Forbes is the guy, especially the way Dixon just went down. I wonder if they're going to make a change to that card. I think there's a homonym involved, but I'm not going to repeat exactly what Bob Lilly just said. It does appear like that might be it for Alex Dixon. Yeah, they've changed the card. Forbes is going to stay on. And it's been interesting. I spoke to Bob Lilly. They're such shapeshifters in midfield. Really, their whole system can shapeshift in game. I said, are you yelling to each player? Do you talk about it during the week? Because I've been together with Bernardo Forbes so long, going back to Rochester. I tell him 1 or 2 things. He gets everybody right. 4G Recycling presents the sub. So we'll see how this looks with another defender on Dixon, either a wingback or a wide forward coming off. Applause for the former Hartford player. Meanwhile, Barrera's come off. Prince Sadie's come on. That's the final change for Hartford, their final window. Welcome to the game, Jelani Peters.
Making his presence felt.
That man's a dump truck. Big human. 6'5". And given Hartford's inability over the last 10 minutes to defend set pieces,
something to keep an eye out on. And if you're Hartford Athletic, you don't want to give any fouls in and around that 18-yard box in your final third, defensive third. Like you just mentioned, Mike, Jelani Peters, physical presence.
Picked up by Martinez, pumps, pushes it down into the corner. Peters went down, he brought the wrong studs. Ball for Obregon. Never arrived, brought down to Lewis. Forbes on the run will get there before Gadula. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Stanley Black & Decker. Stay tuned each week for the Stanley Innovative Play of the Game. Trying to decide what's innovative. We can now contemplate. 4 minutes in stoppage time. There should be a decent amount of it remaining. Hartford flying forward, ball for Obregon. Vassell and Martinez were streaking in as well, and seemingly one player to mark two.
And I mentioned it in the first half. You saw Joel Johnson get in a similar position. That time he picks up his head.
Ball whipped forward by Kiza. And the Revs loanee saw that deflect, and Cicerone's frustrated.
Got into that final third. Joel Johnson in that first half picks up his head and puts this ball in the path of a blue jersey. Sadie, an opportunity that goes to the wayside. Like you said, you see Cicerone, Budati coming together. It is a foul on Cicerone. He's a bit frustrated. Those are the moments that when you're in that final third, if you're Prince Sadie, you need to have that composure. Essentially, it's a 4v2. If you cut this ball back, Martinez and Lee Vassell have so much real estate to have a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and then make their decision whether they want to keep playing or go to goal. And he puts his head down, just smashes it into a Pittsburgh Riverhound player. The differences of points and the fine margins at this level of football that we have on display.
Sadie, that's away. Hartford Athletic is proud to team up with Stop and Shop in all of our community efforts as we work together year-round in the fight against food insecurity. Griffin. Pittsburgh has taken the last 9 shots in this game. Hartford's only taken 1 all contest, and it was the go-ahead in the 55th from McGlynn. Only to see Cicerone in the 74th pull level, his 9th of the year. The 8th goal by a Riverhound substitute this season. That's most in the league. And assisted by Mertz, returning to the team after a year and a half in Atlanta. His 7th assist of the season. First for the Riverhounds, of course. Martinez rolls back to Waite.
It's been like that for Hartford Athletic. Once they get into the final third, they've been extremely good arriving. And one thing that's been maybe lacking, understanding the execution in that final third. Players on the same page. You see there, Martinez gets in. Nice position, just not on the same page between him and Lee Vassell. And it breaks down. Something that Ray Reed is going to want to fix once time comes. It's so good in the middle part of the field and getting in there, just had that finishing touch.
Ball across, it's stretched, it's Vassell. Away from Obregon, Lewis overcooked it for Gadula. Stoppage time approaches in Hartford.
Going to my point, they do extremely well to get to this opportunity. Good switch of attack from Prince Sadie. Then if you're Lee Vassell, you need to make up your mind here, be a bit more decisive. You're gonna go for goal, create your space and pull the trigger. He likes to go across, and then it's caught between 2 minds. Andre Lewis trying to play Vassell, trying to play Gadula, does neither. They get an opportunity for Hartford Athletic, comes to nothing.
Quickly recovered by Pittsburgh. Forbes. Mertz has an assist already tonight. Sucked everybody in. Forbes. Stoppage time is presented by Brignell Vineyards. 5 added minutes, commensurate with the 2 goals, but also the cooling break 15 minutes ago. Quick restart, got to turn on. Forbes. Too far. Cicerone battling with Budati. Ball whipped in front. Kizza the target.
Again, he's the one to get on the end of this. He finds that space right off the shoulder of the center back of Hartford Athletic. Just unable to put it on target. But again, it's Jadam and Brute not on the same page. The striker for the Riverhounds finds that spot between them. He'd be better being touched tight and not letting Riverhounds player get on the end of any ball pumped into a dangerous area.
Kizza stepping into the lineup. Dane Kelly dropped out of the 18. Newcomer, some fresh legs, having only played about 100 minutes all season on loan in Memphis, which likely contributed to the fact that Bruce Arena recalled him and then sent him out again. Franked forward. Forbes leading Mertz. Mertz, the tip of the spear, puts it wide. Set up for Griffin, and Jadama puts his body on the line.
And again, it's a center midfielder joining the attack from a deeper position. Cicerone allows Griffin to advance and just rolls his ball into his path. Who knows where this ball would have ended up, but give credit to Hartford Athletic and that wall in front of Bodo not letting that ball go through.
Past the midway point in stoppage time. Soaring over the box and a push. And a card to Cicerone, it appears. He's pointing the other way. Maybe it's an issue of dissent there from Wheat.
Pittsburgh number 3, Shane Wheat. Card, assistant stoppage time.
So Wheat into the book. The pride of Archbishop Holben High School in Akron.
I was going to say, did you go there?
No. Nope. Didn't get in. No. The 90 seconds in this. Hartford has .02 expected goals. If they could steal all 3 tonight, for Pittsburgh, nearly 3 expected goals. Could they get their due reward here at the end? Here comes Pittsburgh pushing. Ball rolled over to Forbes. Forbes leading Wheat! Wheat surely wins it! Can you believe it? Pittsburgh undeniable on the road. 2-1 up.
And this is so good from Kizza. Requires so much attention, but talk about patience. Talk about allowing players to join the attack late. Take a bow from Bernardo Forbes, just rolls this into the path of the outside back joining the attack. Wheat laces through it, eyes for the top corner where the spider sleeps. There's nothing that Odo can do to get his second on the year in stoppage time. What a massive goal this is.
Heartbreak, utter heartbreak for Hartford. And for Pittsburgh, a vindictive late goal. They've gone the 5 minutes. Hartford may get one last chance here to try and pull level. My, oh my, what a finish. And the Riverhounds again appear to have stomped out another decent Hartford effort. Cicerone and now Shane Wheat. A foul, Martinez down. And a set piece for Hartford. Take your time here, right? Get it right.
Take a deep breath, slow down the game. Just focusing on quality, aiming for right between that 6-yard block and penalty mark.
Budati, that ain't it. Pittsburgh goes on the road and comes from behind to knock off Hartford. And their trek up the standings in the East continues with a Shane Wheat finish to remember in stoppage time. Pittsburgh 2, Hartford 1.
This game had everything. The underlying message was just late players joining the attack, the patience on both sides of the ball. We saw Connor McGlynn's goal, the hold-up play from Daly just to roll this ball in, and then this man right here, Shane Wheat, joining the attack, the understanding of Bernardo Forbes, just to roll this ball in. Just put it in his path and tell him to go get it, do what you do, and quality comes out. Head over the ball, laces down, top corner, there's nothing Odo can do, and I think that is the difference, just the quality in the final third. What a match we had. Heartbreak for Hartford Athletic.
We'll wrap this one up on the other side of the break. Finishes 2-1 in favor of Pittsburgh. Back after these messages and a word from your local station. What a game tonight in Hartford for Pittsburgh. They have .02 expected goals allowed. They trailed. They get a goal from Cicerone and another from that man, Wheat. And Bob Lilly and the Riverhounds pick up a critical 3 points. Mike and Ricky to wrap this one up. Why don't we start in the 55th minute? This is a whole 2% chance of scoring from here. Lewis does all the work. He sets up the, shall we call it, magic peg through dolly of Connor McGlynn.
And first thing that comes to mind, the way that this ball dips, it's just Ronaldo-esque. The knuckle on this thing, it was incredible. There's nothing Wade can do, but it's really good understanding. And Dolly requires a lot of attention to take that touch negative and just roll this into the path of McGlynn and say, I've seen you do this in training. I've seen you do this in your USL Championship career. Have a go at it, son. And he does just that. There's nothing that Wade can do, and what a goal that was. The game really changed once Bob Lilly went to his bench. The understanding of Robbie Mertz, Russell Cicerone connecting on the back post, Really good underlapping run. As Dixon shifts out to the right-hand side, Mertz advances, and he knows it's real estate. Dixon just plays this ball into the path of him, and Mertz says, go up and get it. Cicerone gets the better of Budati with battling all night, and Odell comes off his line and is caught in no man's land.
And then Pittsburgh put the pedal down in the final minutes. Forbes welcoming Wheat into the final third, and I mean, that's a cracker.
And it's just slow in rotation. A little trip here. Peter Lee Vassell gets caught up. Jadama's unable to rotate quick enough. Gadula gets crossed over. Ball watching. Wheat understands that. Advances to the final third. Good little rollout here from Forbes. And Wheat gives Pittsburgh Riverhounds all 3 points.
Hartford has now lost 3 in a row for the first time since the beginning of May. And for Pittsburgh, 3 critical points. Next home game here for Hartford on the 30th against Birmingham. Till then, for our entire Vista NEP crew and Ricky Lopez-Espin alongside, Mike Watts saying so long from Trinity Health Stadium. Pittsburgh wins it 2-1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.